Add a little personality to your game with the Prince Hydrogen 300-gram racket. Prince collaborated with apparel brand Hydrogen to create the unique designs of the Spark and Random rackets. Both rackets feature the same user-friendly specs, including a 100 square inch head size, an 11.2 ounce average strung weight, and a 321 swing weight. This translates to easy power, spin, and maneuverability, making it a great racket for a wide range of playing styles. When I first picked up this racket, it's hard not to notice the cosmetics, and I think Hydrogen does a great job creating fun and unique designs. It's also a Prince frame, which I'm a big fan of for the last, I can't tell you how many years, since my junior days, and so I was excited to head down to court. Looking at the specs, they are right in my wheelhouse, so I had no issues adjusting right off the bat. And after a couple of hitting sessions, this is what I can take away from this racket. The first was that it's very easy to maneuver. I had no problem maintaining my racket head speed throughout the entire playtest. When I was playing a match, I could keep that racket head speed up when I was serving, which is also very important to me. The second thing for me is that there was easy power. From the baseline, I had no issues creating heavy, deep shots that were landing deep in the court, sometimes a little bit too deep. The racket was a little bit flighty for me, so that is where number 3 came in, where I found that there was enough spin potential for me. I could really flick that wrist and get that ball to go down and kind of correct that issue of flightiness. When it came to feel, for me this was a little bit different than other Prince rackets I've hit with. I thought it was not as dampened feeling as other Prince rackets, and I definitely got a little bit more feedback, especially towards the tip of the frame. I did play test this racket with 2 different string setups, the first being my typical full bed of polyester, and the second being a hybrid polyester and multi, and I actually preferred that hybrid setup for me. It was a little bit more comfortable feeling, and I preferred the feel that I got out of it. Overall though, this frame is really easy to use, great power, great spin, and easy to swing.
Like Brittany mentioned, it's really hard to miss the fun cosmetics of these Hydrogen Prince rackets. And here in California, we did test the Random, but I also checked out the Spark and also thought that one was really fun. Once I got onto court, the spec felt really familiar, so it was quick to transition into, and I really liked swinging this one from the baseline. I was getting easy power and easy depth, as well as a lot of spin, even though I'm a flat ball hitter. I like to stay in rallies quite a long time, so sometimes I did find that it was harder to do that, and I was missing some shots as the point progressed. But I really liked this one as I moved forward. That easy spin production really came in handy, and I thought I was transitioning to the net very well. So I was either putting the ball away right there or giving myself a chance to get an easy volley and execute that way and put away the point. I did like it up at net because it was just very maneuverable and had a forgiving sweet spot. There were times when I thought it was a little bit unstable when I was missing up high in the string bed, but really for its spec, it felt good. On serve, I really liked hitting my slice serve. I was getting it to move pretty well on the deuce side out wide. Overall, I was really surprised by the fun cosmetics of both the Random and the Spark rackets, but I got what I thought I was going to get out of these rackets, just lots of easy power and easy depth. That wraps up our thoughts here in California. Next, we're going to check in with our team in Georgia. Hey Howard, how did the racket work for you?
Thanks, Tiffany. I was super excited to go out on court and try out the Prince Spark racket. I was looking for a new frame that's in the power department, and this one, according to the description and specs, definitely fills that void for something that I am looking for currently. Right off the bat, I noticed this racket had a lot of pop and power to it. It does have a higher swing weight to what I am normally used to, but I think I really appreciated that from this frame. I felt like I was able to put a little bit more weight and force into my shots, so it definitely helped push my opponents around the court really well. Spin potential on this racket, really nice with that 16x19 string pattern. I'm always looking for an open string pattern because I do tend to put a lot of top spin to my shots. On slices, this racket worked really well. I was able to knife the ball and generate good amount of backspin on my shots. Touch with this racket was great. I was able to hit some nice drop shots, especially from the baseline when I'm pushing my opponent around with the raw power this racket produces. I was able to hit that nice little touch dropper and get my opponents on their toes rushing up to the net, and that easily put away shots for me. On serves, I really appreciated that I was able to just go out and hit my normal serves without making any adjustment. It definitely gravitated towards more of a flat serve for me with this racket. But on second serves, I was still able to generate that nice kick I rely on every single time. Overall, I really enjoyed this playtest. I definitely enjoyed the Spark colorway on this racket, and I would recommend this racket towards anybody looking for a power racket that's going to produce a good amount of spin and is looking to add a little bit more power into their game.
When I first looked at this racket, I was super intrigued by it. You can just see right away that it will stand out with this unique pattern. And also I am a huge fan of Hydrogen products, so I thought this is going to be a killer combination. When I first got on court with the racket, the first thing that stood out to me just how easy I was able to generate power from the baseline. I do feel like the specs of this racket are really player friendly, so you can easily get adjusted to that, and players who are looking for that easy power, easy depth will find this racket very fun to play with. Other than just the fact that this racket is super player friendly, the next thing that came to mind was just how easy I was able to get spin on my balls. I do prefer a racket that assists me greatly with those shots when I'm trying to get under the ball and take control of the point with a bunch of spin, and this racket did just that. One thing I had to adjust to a little bit is just this open string pattern on the frame. It does come with a very open launch angle, so that meant that my balls would launch a bit higher than what I'm used to normally. So I had to be mindful of that and dial my shots back in, especially on slices when I try to get the ball to sit down a bit lower, or volleys. It can be a pro and con depending on what you're looking for. One shot that really stood out to me and I thought the racket excelled at was serves. I really enjoyed just how easy I was able to generate net clearance with my shots, and I was bravely picking targets and going for them because I trusted that the racket was easily getting that depth I needed and power that I was looking for. So serves definitely on point with this one. All in all, this will not be a racket I will generally gravitate towards or pick it as my racket of choice, but I do see how it would be a very appealing option for players who are looking for easy power, easy depth, and just a comfortable all-around frame. Thanks for watching. We strung up this racket with Prince Tour XP, Prince Vortex, and Prince Premier Control. For more information on this racket or any others, please go check out Tennis Warehouse, Tennis Warehouse Europe, or Tennis Only.